All right, really quick, I just want to make a quick video about some new lights I have and the story of how I got a box full of film cameras. Recently, my friend Christina, who lives in Florida, who I knew from when I used to live in Florida, she was recently cleaning out her father's house and came across a pretty big stash and haul of old school film cameras. When she found the camera, she reached out to me, asked me did I want them. She sent me a picture and I saw the picture. I was like, yeah, cool, send them to me. I really didn't know what to expect. I saw what looked like a bunch of Polaroid style cameras, but I wasn't exactly sure. And then, a couple weeks goes by and a box of cameras shows up. So it was about 7, and of the 7, 3 of the cameras actually work, but the other 4, they no longer make film for. So I'm just gonna quickly go through the ones that don't work, and then I'll spend a little bit more time about the ones that do work. So the first camera that doesn't work, it's called a Polaroid land camera, Super Shooter Plus. It's very plasticky, but it's definitely old school Polaroid. They don't make it anymore, but it looks, really cool. I'm not gonna give you all the history about all these cameras, but I looked up a lot of them and they just, don't make the film for anymore, but they look really cool. So that's the Polaroid land camera. This is another Polaroid camera, but for some reason they don't make this particular Polaroid film anymore. So this is just a paperweight, but it looks really cool. Has that compact, style to it. I've never been the biggest fan of Polaroid cameras. I never thought the quality was that great, but there's a huge community of people that really love Polaroids, and I kind of understand why, but they're not that interesting to me. So the next camera it's called a Pleaser instant camera, and it's made by Kodak. And a little bit of history I did find about this particular camera was basically Kodak stole the IP of Polaroid and they tried to rebrand it and call it something else. So for about a 10-year period, Kodak made instant pictures or instant cameras that were basically a ripoff of Polaroid. Polaroid finally sued, they won, and Kodak had to stop making these cameras. So this is one of those cameras, and they don't make film for these anymore. And I just love the style and the color on this one. It has that really old school 70s, brown and orange. Has this big handle on the side with this kind of cool viewfinder. I actually kind of like this camera, but again, this would basically just be a decorative piece since I can't shoot on it anymore. And the last camera is this Instamatic X35 camera. I'm not sure why they don't make, film for this anymore, but this is an old school Kodak camera. I love the way this looks. Really compact size, but again, they don't make, film for this, but it sounds, really good to, pop the shutter and advance the film. Again, this has this really square viewfinder that looks really good, but from my research, they don't make film for this anymore, so, it sucks, but again, it's a cool decorative piece. All right, now to the cameras that do work. Again, there's another Polaroid. So this is just like the traditional old school Polaroid. You can still buy film for, and then basically hold a button to charge the battery in the camera. And then once it's charged, you can take a picture. I just never thought the quality of Polaroids were that cool, but they look good when you, pin them up on a wall or take them up somewhere. They look kind of cool. But outside of that, just a, simple Polaroid. The other really cool camera that I was most excited about was this 1960s era German camera called a Praktica. And this thing is built like a tank. It's made out of like really hard steel, metal, whatever it is. The lens is also made out of steel and that, really strong material. And the thing I love most is just how this sounds when you fire it. I just love that sound. I think if I ever had a studio, this would be like a studio camera. Basically because it has the viewfinder where you can look down into it and take the picture, but everything is in reverse, so it takes a little bit more, precision to really frame up your shot. But I just love that style of looking down into the viewfinder. But the thing about it, this lens has a lot of fungus growing on the inside. It's super cloudy, and like, I took one roll of, pictures with this camera and they all came out really cloudy, and just the lens needs to be clean. And the thing that I've learned about old school lenses is that over time, the glass just develops this fungus that grows on the inside. Sometimes you can get it out, sometimes you can't, but you would have to take it somewhere to have them clean it. But I don't know, the few images I did take were either out of focus, but a couple, looked pretty good, but it had a really bad case of, lens fungus. But it's a beautiful camera. It'll look great on my shelf, and I'm really excited about this one. The last camera is, this is called an Easy Load 110, and it was made by Sears. And again, from what little bit of history I did find was that basically a lot of different brands made 110 cameras, and essentially they have these little cartridges that you just pop in, and the film is in the cartridges, and basically it allows you to take out a roll of film mid-roll, and you only lose the one image that you were about to take. And you can pop in a different speed of film or a different kind of film, which is kind of cool, but they came in this really, compact size, so they were really easy to carry. And the images I did take, they turned out really cool. They looked like they were double exposed, and they were very layered and textured, and I think it was a mistake of the camera. I don't think it was intended to be that way, but the pictures came out really cool. It was really expensive to develop that film. It was like $37 to have them scanned for digitals and to make print, and the film itself was probably $12, which isn't too crazy, but to factor in of what it costs to develop, I don't know that I would be shooting with this camera a lot just because it's so expensive. But again, it looks really cool. I think if I took a vacation, I would take this with me just to get like a different vibe, but this is not something that would be an everyday carry. Overall, I still just love digital. It's the best, it's the least expensive. I do shoot film a little bit and it's fun sometimes, but if I'm not like some of these, New York City street photographers who are cranking through like 10 plus rolls a week, it costs way too much money for me to be able to do that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Right now, I'm testing out a new lavalier mic from, I forget the name of the company, but this is a new lavalier mic. And then I'm also testing out new lights from Amaran. It's the Amaran P60X. I'm a one-man band, so I really need small, versatile kit. So these will fit inside of the Pellet case along with a couple stands, and this is going to replace some cheap LED panels that I've had for a really long time. So I got two of these. Right now I'm only using one, but it packs a big punch for a really small light, and it's currently diffused, and then it also has the grid to like really help shape the light, which is really cool. But for $170 a light, I think that's kind of a steal to have a light that bright and also come with two different types of diffusion. It's pretty good. So let me know what you think. Right now it's really bright. So I'm filming this part after the video. I forgot to put the grid on just to kind of see how it, kind of shapes the light. And I think this is a much more dramatic effect, and I can understand why they use these in Hollywood and on, big TV sets. It drastically changes how the light comes out, and it's a much more dramatic, but yet subtle, and really just shapes the light. So I think I probably will be using that feature a lot. Hopefully the mic sounds good, hopefully the lights look good, and look forward to the next video.